So I think we all know with golf, it is a game where you lose more often than you win. And unfortunately, this has been one of those weeks that didn't really turn out the way that I wanted to. But you know, part of me sharing my journey is sharing the ups and the downs. So I hope you guys enjoy this video of me talking about a miscut. So that's the reality of life on tour. You're not gonna play well every week, and you just gotta learn to get back up on your feet, learn from your mistakes, and keep getting better. We just landed in Milan. I've been traveling for about 20 hours, so I look pretty rough. But yeah, waiting for my golf bag. Had like a 5-hour layover in Abu Dhabi. So hoping everything is good. I usually try to not get the layovers that are too short, because most of the time I find that when that happens, then the bag doesn't make it. So fingers crossed. I'm waiting at oversized, and priority, golf bag. Cute car. I think I got the only automatic car in all of Italy. Practice round day 1. It's pretty chilly. It's like 13 degrees. So at least the sun is out. Look at So they have a man-made water hazard like surrounding this green, and they literally gave this for you to pick up the ball. Crazy. This is what this hole used to look like, and this is what it looks like now. How crazy. I'm really curious as to what kind of grass this is, because it's literally curly. I don't think I've played on this kind of grass before. Oh my god, so cute, he has a mustache! The next day, and I just woke up and I'm editing this video, but I kind of felt like it was important for me to put this part in here as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say, like, I know I'm talking about miscut and it seems like I'm talking about it quite lightly, but I want you guys to understand that it took me a long time to get to this place. Like, if you guys don't know me and you guys don't know my personality and you did not experience the first, well, not the first few years I'm playing on tour, but even in amateur golf, golf has always been very important to me, and I've always put a lot of importance on it. So when I would miss a cut, I would literally cry during the round, after the round. I would blame myself, I would call myself an idiot, saying I lost an opportunity to play well that week, to prove myself, to win a tournament. And I think one of the things with that is, because I was so caught up in the results, I really lost a lot of opportunity to get better, because I was just thinking you're an idiot, and I never wanted to learn from it. I just thought I'm gonna come back out next week and do it again, because you know, it's just a bad week, but I never tried to learn from it. And that's something that I've had to learn over time. And I think it's very important to know that, you know, even though golf is not my worth, it's like when you put so much time and effort into something and you love it so much, you do always want to perform well. So even though I might be talking about it lightly now, that has not always been the case. So I just wanted you guys to know that. But yeah, let's get on with the video. So today we're just gonna have a nice friendly chat as I sit here in my Airbnb. Like I said, after a miscut. So let's go right back to the start, because I feel like I learned something very important this week, and it kind of relates to something that I do want to talk about, which I don't think that I've talked about on here before. So a question that I kind of get often, whether in real life or on social media, is people tend to ask me, I don't think it's like asked in a bad way, or I don't feel offended when people ask me this, but they kind of ask me like my swing is great, like what do I think I need to get to the next level, or why aren't I playing on the LPGA, or think something along those lines. And I think for the longest time I kind of like, I knew personally, but I didn't really know how to like put it into words when people ask me. Like I don't know how to answer that question. But personally, I think it really boils down so much to, if I should put it in one word, I would say experience. Because okay, let's just kind of go, technically this is my 5th year playing on tour. I've had 2 years where I've played 10 tournaments in the entire year. That was the first year that I turned pro, where I played in Korea. And then the next year, I had a full year on tour, and then obviously COVID struck. And then last year, I played 10 tournaments on the WAPT. So 10 tournaments for a professional golfer in a full year is not a lot. To put that into perspective, next month I'm playing 4 tournaments. So essentially, it's like you're working 2 months out of 12. So it's not great. And one of the things that I feel like professional golfers need is flow, and that's something that you can only achieve by maintaining full status on a tour. Because when you maintain full status on a tour and you're able to plan out your entire year, it makes a huge difference. Even last year playing on the WAPT, even though it's a mini tour, I knew that I could get into all 10 tournaments because I asked them in advance and they said I could get into all 10. So it's pretty easy to plan. Obviously, additionally, like the WAPT tour was only in America, so that makes a big difference as well. But for instance, this year playing in Europe, you're playing in different countries every single week. So that is a different challenge. But that's not really what I'm talking about here. So out of 5 years, well, I would consider it 4 because technically this is my 5th year. 4 years, 3 because one of it was COVID, 2 years of playing 10 tournaments the entire year, and 1 full year on tour. And I feel like, and that 1 full year on tour, I played in China and Taiwan, which, if you didn't know, has vastly different conditions. And I felt like before COVID in 2020, we had our first Taiwan tournament, and I've mentioned this before, I think. I felt like I was really getting into the swing of things. I finally knew what the course was going to be like. I knew how to live life on tour, and then obviously COVID happened. So I think what I'm trying to say here is that I've always felt like, in terms of what I needed, it was experience, because before I turned professional, I had played in 0 professional events. So there are a lot of amateurs out there who have been competing in professional events since they were 15. So I think that makes a huge difference. One of the things is, obviously, I come from Malaysia. We had 1 professional tournament there growing up, which is the Sime Darby LPGA. And after I graduated, which was when I wanted to turn pro, it no longer was an event in Malaysia. So I never had the chance to play in that tournament. So I literally had 0 professional experience playing in professional tournaments before turning pro. And being thrown straight into the KLPGA was, obviously a huge, very, very different life. So what does this have to do with my week here in Italy? So I think I learned a very important lesson this week, which was something that, like I said before, why I think I need experience is because it's something that I would never have known if I did not play in this tournament. And it's only something that you can realize through playing tournaments and through having the experience and through living through it, that you're able to okay, this is something that I need to work on. So here's what happened, basically. Well, I don't think I'm saying anything bad here, and I don't think the girl that I played with would ever in a million years be watching this video, so I'm just gonna go say it. I played with a girl who was really slow this week. And don't get me wrong, what I've realized playing with her is that I don't mind playing with slow people. My problem is when the person is so slow to the extent that the entire group is slow and we don't see the group in front, which is really bad because the rules officials are following us the entire round. Now, I don't want to say that I'm somebody that has anxiety, because I am not diagnosed with anxiety, and it's a serious illness. And I know that people who are diagnosed with anxiety would not want me to use that word, just simply use that word. But I'm a pretty anxious person. And the first thing that I hate about when playing golf is not playing with slow people, but being slow. Like, if you're slow and we are still on time, you're catching up the people in front, you just take a really long time to, choose your club or read the putts or whatever, that's fine. Do your thing. I don't care, because the rules officials are not going to come and tell us off and be like, hey, you guys are behind. This entire 2 days that I played golf, we did not see the group in front, almost like maybe only when they got in trouble. All we saw was rules officials following us. So the one word to explain this week was anxiety, because I don't think I've ever felt so stressed playing a tournament, not from the golf, but from, okay, let me explain why I feel very anxious. Because to me, when I see that there's nobody in front of us and the rules officials notice this and they start pushing us, in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking about is we need to hurry up, because if we don't catch up, they're going to start timing us, and if they start timing us and we're behind time, they're going to give us a 2-stroke penalty. Now, for me, that is ridiculous. Like, we're working so hard to play our best possible score. Why would I want something to just add 2 strokes to my score? Like, that is just ridiculous to me. So to me, that is like, just unfathomable. Like, why should I for no reason, just like add two strokes to your score? So to me, that's why I get so anxious. I'm like, oh my gosh, if we don't hurry up, we're gonna get 2 strokes penalty. So immediately I just rush. And like I said, like, if you're playing slow and we are not on the clock, that is fine. But if you're playing slow and we're already on the clock, I'm doing all I can, and especially when I'm like the longest, so I have to wait to hit. I was just like, I basically completely lost my rhythm and my tempo this week. Honestly, I felt like I would hit this course, and the way that I was hitting it, I could have scored for sure. Like, it's not that it was an easy course, but it was a good course and I liked it. But if you look at my scores, I literally just lost it as the game went on. Like, I started okay and then I just lost it, because the more we waited, the more anxious I got. Obviously during the round, I didn't realize this, because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just so stressed out, never seeing the front group, that it was like, this is ridiculous. And what's funny is, this is not sponsored by Whoop, but we have like this Whoop bands nowadays, and I was looking at this is actually how I thought about it, because I was looking at my first day, like at my activity on the first day, and it was like, you're spending like, and Whoop's not like 100% accurate all the time, in my opinion, because usually it doesn't catch like an entire round of golf. So for mine, it kind of broke it up to like, it was like the first 2 hours, and then there was like, for some reason I wasn't golfing in between that, and then like remaining 3 hours or whatever. And it showed like the back nine. Basically, when I was playing the back nine, my heart rate was like something like, I spent 70 minutes more in my elevated heart rate than I normally do playing golf. And I've been wearing this book for like 2 years, so it knows how much my heart rate is playing golf, even tournament golf. And my heart rate was just so elevated the whole round, not because of the golf, but because I was so stressed about catching up to the group in front of us, which, by the way, we never caught up to them. Obviously we didn't get the 2-stroke penalty, but still, like, walking so fast, walking to the ball, like, just feeling so anxious the entire round, I think so negatively impacted my game, and I didn't realize it at that time. And honestly, like, this is something that, like I said, like, this is not something that you can experience playing regular golf, because why are you going to be anxious playing regular golf? Even if it's slow, you get irritated, but you're not going to be anxious that nobody's going to give you a 2-stroke penalty. So these are things that, like, I mean, I would have never thought in a million years, like, oh, I need to figure out how I'm going to play without feeling anxious or being on the clock. Like, and you might be thinking like, okay, Jen, now that you know this, what are you going to do? Like, I think one of the things that I need to do is like, okay, first of all, another thing to point out is that if you're playing great, like, you're in the zone, obviously this kind of things won't faze you, because I mean, maybe slowly, eventually it might towards the end of the round, but you're in the zone, so that's completely different. But if you're just playing regular golf and slowly it'll start catching up to you. So I think I need to figure out how to not be so anxious about these kind of things. First of all, I don't think I've ever known of anybody actually getting that 2-stroke penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong, maybe there have been people who have gotten, I think there has actually. Well, not anybody that I personally known, or on any of the tours that I've played, that have actually gotten the 2-stroke penalty. But to me, in my head, that's just like ridiculous. Like, That's the dumbest thing that could happen to you, to get 2 strokes for nothing. And that just causes me so much anxiety. So I think one of the things that I need to figure out is how to stay in my zone. And this is, I think a lot of it is going to be through pre-shot routine and just figuring out how I can get in and out of the zone quickly and when I need to. So for instance, if we need to walk fast to catch up to the group in front, you know, that time I really need to like be able to zone it out and just be like, okay, now it's time to hit. Now it's time to walk fast. Now it's time to hit. And these are things that like I've said, I've played with a lot of slow people before, but most of the time when the rules officials are like, hey, you guys are behind, people start catching up, you start catching up, you know, you slowly get a little less anxious and you start getting back your rhythm. But when you never catch up the group in front of you for 18 holes. Okay, I'm not even kidding. The second day, the rules officials followed us for 9 holes. Like, how am I going to relax when I constantly see a card behind with in front say it's rules? Like, it's just impossible, especially if you don't understand. For me, being anxious about that already, it was just crazy. I had no rest for 2 days, no rest. Okay, so basically what I'm saying here is I think that I learned a very important lesson here this week. And I think you can tell, it's not something that you can learn unless you play tournament golf and experience it. You know, this is something that you can only experience through living life on tour. And this is, you know, even though I did not get the results that I wanted this week, I think it's very important because now if I ever get faced with something else, I will know and I'll be able to be, first off, I'll be aware of it. I'll be like, okay, you were in this situation before, now you need to deal with it. I think I knew that I was anxious, but I never knew like to snap out of it and, you know, that to analyze how it was impacting my game. Because, you know, at the moment in time, you're just trying so hard to play better and not lose, you know, to just like stay in the game. But, you know, sometimes you need to snap out of it to snap back into it. So, okay, there's an annoying... So yeah, that's essentially what I want to talk about this week because I think it's important because not only I think does it hopefully answer a question that a lot of you guys ask, but also I think it just shows one of the things that you can learn. And I know like it's very cliche to say like every week on tour I'm learning something, blah blah blah. Everybody says that in Instagram posts. It's like, oh, I'm learning something new every week. But for me, I feel like this whole year, it's so true. I've learned something new every single week. I might not have communicated that every single week with you guys, but I thought this week was an important one because I think it was when I hit it down, and that's when you learn the most. Like, you know, people always say you learn the most not when you win, but when you lose. And I think that's so true. And I learned that this week. So although this might not have been the week that I wanted it to be, I'm taking a lot off this week. And I feel like it's definitely only going to positively impact my game in the future. And yeah, I'm looking forward to working on this. I've got 2 weeks off, which also reminds me, I'm going to be including my next stretch of events, which is 4 events in a row for you guys who asked. And yeah, I will be working hard for it. First of all, I'm going to take a rest because the amount of traveling that I've been doing is insane. And yeah, that will be sorted out because this beginning of the year was a little bit hectic and I didn't really know my way around, but I think I'm getting a hang of it now and the next stretch will definitely be better. But yeah, I'm going to take a bit of rest and then get back to work and be ready to go back out for my next stretch of events. So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for watching, for supporting, and also to those of you guys who donated. In my previous video, you know, I did the fundraiser only at the end of the video because I know that it's not something that I wanted to like clickbait you guys. It's for people who genuinely wanted to help me out. And I know that those people are the ones that watched to the end of the video anyway. So if you guys did donate, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. It really does help in my journey. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys next time with whatever news it may be. And stay tuned for more Golf with Jen.